Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to Lead God Podcast. We're talking all things business and entrepreneurship. Today, we have a mega entrepreneur, social media rock star, affiliate marketing legend. This guy's none other than Alex Moeller, WifiMoney. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, my brother? How's everything? Thank you so much for having me.
Cool, man. Well, yeah, thanks so much for joining. Again, every time we check out your guys' Instagram and your YouTube, you guys are just doing massive things. So thanks so much for sharing your journey and, showing people that you're, not just preaching it, but you're doing it and you're actually following through on your words. So it's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Yeah, it's been a while, but I love doing business online. I love traveling the world. I love motivating people. And that's, I think, same for you, that this is why we do it. You get those messages from younger entrepreneurs that are motivated by the videos and the content. And oftentimes people will look at my Instagram and think, oh, that guy's a show off, or I don't think that guy would be a nice guy if I met him in person. But the reason why we build personal brands is literally to motivate and help a younger generation that's coming up, and they want to have success like us.
Yeah, and I think too that's how I kind of got inspired as an entrepreneur. Is I followed people on YouTube and Instagram 10 years ago before, when it was all kind of coming up, and I just wanted that dose of reality. Was like, is that even possible? Because no one around me in my circle was doing it. So by you sharing that stuff, it honestly is, putting a seed in someone's mind, some entrepreneur, some guy that wants something more from his life and live in a small town or whatever it is, right? Growing up in, hard backgrounds, and you're putting that seed in their mind that, hey, it is possible. And I think that is, really the ultimate thing that you're sharing versus everything else. So, again, it's truly inspiring. So thanks so much for sharing that.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah. So before we jump into the private jets, the island hopping, just the 2 million Instagram followers, this massive impact network you've been able to create. Who is Alex? Where'd you grow up? I know your story is a little bit different. So, where'd you grow up at?
Yeah. So not many people know my actual background. I was born in Quito, Ecuador. Born and raised there. I lived there till I believe I was about 11 years old before I moved here to the US. And I'm sorry to say, but I don't have the motivational, traditional story of an entrepreneur where I was dead broke and I was living on a friend's couch or down to my last dollar. I was incredibly blessed with an awesome family, with a roof over my head, basically everything a human would need to be successful. And I think that's why I felt so bad back in 2017, where here I had everything that I ever needed to be successful, and I was just in my comfort zone. And, I graduated college. I barely studied. I, did marketing and kind of just partied my way through college, moved into Miami. I was making, I think, $3,000 a month, and $1,500 was going towards rent. $1,500 was going towards partying and waking up every single Monday, hungover, cutting corners, on Zoom calls with covering my camera, trying to sleep. Like, it was just a very destructive lifestyle. I was stuck in my comfort zone. And I always say, I truly believe your comfort zone is even scarier than being rock bottom. Because when you're rock bottom, if you clean up your act, you've got one way to go and it's up. But when you're in your comfort zone, everything you've experienced, everything you're taking for granted can literally be taken away from you within a minute without you even noticing, right? So that's what was kind of happening to me. And something you said in the beginning, I jumped on Instagram, and instead of hating on all these individuals that are posting the cars and the travel and the jets, I took motivation. I started seeing like Frank Cardone's and Ty Lopez's and Tony Robbins, and I started getting that motivation. And man, I actually bought a Ty Lopez course that taught individuals how to do social media marketing. I think everybody and their mothers have gotten that course.
Yeah.
And I see it by your smirk. You probably got that course.
Yeah, I remember that.
Everybody got that course. And it was crazy because I didn't even finish the course, where I was like halfway through it. And it just gave me the motivation to get started. And the rest is history. Here we are, like you said, the jets, the houses, the travel. But more importantly, I utilize that to motivate the individuals that were where I was back in 2017, where they're partying, they're in their comfort zone, they don't have much money. Now they see someone that has that type of success and they say, wow, if he did it, I can do it as well.
Yeah, no, that in itself is just like the definition of being an entrepreneur and really just trying stuff and not knowing what's gonna come of it, right? And I think if you're just trying stuff and you're failing, that is just like the first step, right? Because you don't know what it is, but you're trying to create something out of nothing and trying to better your situation, and it's so hard to do that. When you don't have anything and you don't see anybody doing it other than people online. So just taking that first step is sometimes the biggest challenge. And were you always kind of an entrepreneurial type of kid, or was that just something that you fell into?
I mean, funny enough, now that I have the success that I have, I have conversations with my mom, and she tells me certain things that I did when I was growing up. Like, I would she would say I was like the best salesman ever, even when I was younger. I don't know where I got that from, but I'd sell her every idea. I'd actually even create little things and sell it to my parents, right, for money. And I guess I kind of always sold business ideas that I had over in Ecuador. But what really was dragging me and holding me back was really going all in. Because you can be an entrepreneur at heart, but if you don't decide and take the decision to go all in, you're never going to make it. People don't understand how difficult it is to be an entrepreneur, how difficult it is to have all the responsibility that you and I have, right? They think, oh, I'll work a little here, work a little there, and why am I not getting results? I always use this comparison because it's very true in my life, and I'm honest about it. I love the gym. I go to the gym probably 6 times a week, bro. But then what happens? I go to the gym 6 times a week. My diet's dialed in. I'm counting my macros and weighing out my oatmeal and eating bland chicken, and I'm all in. But then I'll go on a 2-month vacation, and then I'll drink champagne for breakfast, 3-4 times a week. And at night we'll eat pizza and burgers and whatever, right? But it's fine because it's just a vacation. But then when I get back, I'm exactly where I started with my fitness journey. So I'm in my head, I'm thinking all that work that I did, it's not working, but it's because I'm not actually deciding to go all in. It's not about going all in for 2 months. It's not about going all in for a year. You got to go all in. I guarantee if my diet was perfect and I was working out perfect for 4 years, I'd get incredible results. But I don't do that. I've got cycles, right? And that's what happens to most entrepreneurs. You can be an entrepreneur at heart, but if you really don't take that decision to go 1,000% all in, you're never going to find the success that you're looking for.
Yeah, and I think that's so true, man. I think just having discipline, just getting into it, trying, failing. But then when you find something that's starting to get that traction, right, when you kind of like, hey, the rubber's meeting the road, that's when it takes, persistent time and just improving your craft and just doubling down. And it's not months, like you said, right? Like with the diet. And the same thing goes with entrepreneur. It's years, right? But just like everything else, after years and years of doing that, there's that impact point, right? There's that point where everything just kind of hits at once. And it's like, this guy's here at the right time, the right opportunity, and then boom, it takes off, right? And that's happened to me with my business multiple times where, you're just putting all the groundwork in, and then eventually it hits, and then it's like, whoa, that guy's making all this money so fast. How did he do that? It was all the years, it was all the prep, it was everything you did before that to get you to that point. So, yeah, man, that's exactly kind of like my thought process with anything I do now. Is just going into it is knowing that, hey, I need to put my reps in before ever hopefully hitting that opportunity, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's just been it doesn't matter what your goals are. It doesn't matter if it's, marriage you're working on, it's entrepreneurship, a business. I think, one of the things that I heard early on, an entrepreneur I follow he said, success loves speed. And for some reason that just stuck with me. It's such a cool phrase. To where really, like, if you're going fast, success loves that. You can't sit there and overthink things. You can't sit there and plan. Like, listen, I've got friends of mine that have all the potential in the world, but they sit there and they analyze an opportunity for months and months and months and months, and they get something that I call analysis paralysis, where you will analyze so much that you literally get paralyzed and you can't do anything. I've always been the individual that says, screw it, I'm all in. I'm buying that course. I'm doing this. And have I failed? 95% of the time I failed, bro. And that's what people don't realize. They think that, oh, Alex has a jet or Alex has this lifestyle. He's always had success. No, I've had business venture fail after failure after failure after failure. But what makes me successful is that I'll give myself 24 hours to be sad about, and then the next day I'm back at it, right? I recover quickly. I don't let my losses define me. I take that as motivation, and you just continue working until, you start having that success you're looking for.
Yeah, no, that's so true, man. And there's no other really golden ticket. That's what it is. It's just putting in the effort and just knowing that you're not gonna have all the answers. But if you're a pretty smart person and you just have some, common sense, you're just learning from what worked and what didn't, and then you just double down and you kind of go from there. What was your first entrepreneurial venture? Like, would you say that actually like really kind of cracked open, that kind of got the ball rolling for you?
Yeah, I mean, social media, Instagram specifically. I started looking at what all the people that were motivating me had in common, and the one thing that they all had in common was Instagram followers. I'm like, you look at Grant, you look at Ty, you look at, all these monster individuals. What do they all have in common? They're all in different industries. They all have different ways of speaking and marketing. What do they all have in common? Followers. They've all have credibility. They all have social media presences. So I took a mission and with the Ty Lopez SMMA course, I said, I'm going to focus on one specific niche. It's not going to be Facebook ads. It's going to be growing Instagram followers. So I would stay up till 4 a.m. studying, how do I grow my Instagram? You got to remember, knowledge is free. Yes, I paid for the course, but maybe someone watching or listening right now doesn't have $2,000. Knowledge and information is free. Go to YouTube, right? There's free courses. I was Googling how to grow my Instagram, how to hack the algorithm. What do I do? And I would stay up, no joke, bro, till 6 a.m. following people on Instagram, because I read somewhere that if you follow someone, it's going to show them a notification. They're going to follow you back. So what I would do is I'd follow 500 people. I think that was the limit back then. And then I'd go and I'd end up unfollowing those 500 people that I followed. Some people will say it's a shitty practice, but for me, it was working. I was gaining hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of followers. And bro, I had no idea where it was going to take me. And again, going back to analysis paralysis, I didn't sit there and build this entire business plan. I just said, I'm going to grow my account. Let's see what happens. Sure enough, a girl reaches out to me. She's like, Alex, I see you grew from, I think I had like 200 followers, 500 followers, something around there. And I had gotten to like 4,000. And she's like, how'd you do that? And I remember it just clicked for me, man. I ran home. I built this whole presentation. I said, oh, this is my company. Like, again, I don't have a website. I don't have presentations. I don't have a logo. I'm just making it up as I go. And I end up charging her, and I was scared to do this, bro, $99 a month. And I think she paid me a couple months in advance. Dude, I had made my first couple $100, and in my head, I was God. I was the greatest entrepreneur of all time. And that's what sparked it, bro. And then I started realizing, I'm like, wow, if I charge 10 people, now I'm making $1,000 a month. And if I charge 20, 30, 40, like my goal was to get to $10,000 a month. I thought I'd retire at $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
Back then. Right?
Yeah.
So I did it, bro. I wouldn't sleep. I'd stay up growing my Instagram account. Then my buddy created this software, which was really badass, that would automate the process for you to follow, unfollow. There was a couple other softwares out there. They were getting shut down. We were probably the only one that was still active. I'd consult people and teach them what to do with the followers, which was my value add in the business. I saw competitors. I'm like, oh, they're doing the same. What can I do to do it better than them? And that's how I reached my first $10,000 a month, my first $100,000 a month. And my success really was kind of like a hockey stick, but it was because I was so dedicated. I was taking, and people don't believe me when I say this, but I was connecting with about 30, 40 people an hour on Instagram. DM. Hey, man, pleasure to meet you. Oh, I see your content. Oh, I see you've traveled. I've been there. Building relationships, not trying to sell them anything, just genuinely building relationships. If you can build a relationship, you can build a business. And all of a sudden, I've got 100,000 followers. All of them are seeing my success. All of them are now coming back to me saying, hey, Alex, I've followed your journey. I see what you're posting. I see what you're doing. How can we work together? So now I'm not even selling these people. They're coming back to me and asking me how they can team up with me. And the rest is history, man. But that was kind of the way that I got started, was through the Instagram game.
Yeah, that's a crazy story, right? Of just putting one foot in front of the other, starting to create value, right? Of, hey, I'm doing something. Maybe I can show you how to do it, but not even trying to sell them. I think you like you said, you're just creating value first and just doing it, in the background, and then people were just latching onto that, right? So I think because you were doing that action, you were drawing these people into whatever world you were in, right? And it was just like an organic force field of bringing these people in, and obviously you're putting your hands and your feet up to the ground and the pavement, knocking on the doors, right? But you're bringing those people in, and then people are seeing that happen. So that's just putting one foot in front of the other, and then it starts to work. So
it's a numbers game, bro. People don't realize. I was just having a training. Now we're up to 60,000 plus affiliates. It's a blessing. But I was showing people it's a numbers game. Like, how did I get to 60,000 affiliates? How did I get to having 8-figure plus profit months? It was from building that base back in 2017, where I was DMing 20, 30 people a day, nonstop, 7 days a week, building relationship after relationship, and it all compounds. Like, if you do the numbers, man, whoever's watching this, break out your phone and do 40 times 10 hours a day times 31 days a month times 365 days a year times what has it been, like 6-7 years? You're talking about hundreds of thousands of people, and 99% of them told me no. I got rejected left and right, but now they start to see the success. They start to see where I'm at, and it's a flood. I've been so consistent for 6-7 years, taking no on the chin, not worrying about it. Like you said, one foot after the next, just pushing forward. And it gets to a point where the momentum's so big, and people from the outside looking in are seeing your success, that they will come back and say, hey, Alex, hey, Ken, how can I partner with you? How can I build a relationship with you now that I see you're having all this success?
Yeah, no, man. And that's 100% true. So, and when the business started taking off, were you like, what was that feeling like? Were you like, did I crack the code, right? Did I pull the golden ticket? What was that like when you first made your first 10 grand and then it started going up from there? What was that feeling like?
I was on a fucking rocket, bro. Like, nothing could stop me, bro. Nothing. I was staying up till, again, 4 or 5 in the morning, sometimes not sleeping, forgetting meals. Like, you're in you probably know what this feels like. You're just in another world, dude.
Yeah.
You're just like literally floating, just going nuts, closing deals, building relationships. All you dream about, all you think about, everything is being an entrepreneur and growing your business. And it takes that level of intensity for multiple years to have the type of success that you and I are having. People don't realize that. They'll be like, oh, I worked hard this week. I deserve to go out and party. Like, if you're still going out and partying on the weekends, there's absolutely no chance you're having the success that you could be having. Just zero chance. There's no such thing as balance when you're first getting started. Now I have balance, dude. Now I have balance. Now I can go, dude, I just bought, believe it or not, dude, I just bought a Nintendo. I haven't played video games, I don't think, ever. I played Mario Party for 3 hours yesterday with a couple. I don't know why. It was awesome, bro. We were just having fun. My family was over. Now I can have that type of balance. I couldn't do that back in the day. Now I can go to a vacation and turn off my phone and be present with my girlfriend and have fun for 24 hours. Back then, I couldn't do that. The balance will come. And at some point, you have to have some sort of balance. If not, you'll burn out. But in the beginning, you have to go absolutely nuts to have that success.
Yeah, and I think it's just sacrifices, right? It's sacrifices from, your friends that you used to have and the parties, like you said, and the people you're surrounding yourself with. And it's sacrifices that you make to cut these things and these vices out of your life, because you know that you want it so bad, right? And I had the same kind of feeling as soon as I had that. I made my first 10K. I don't know why everyone says 10K too, but
10K is that number. It's like you're rich, you're retired. Like
yeah, it's just that golden number where it's like you hit that 10K and then it becomes like an addiction. Like if I can do that, can I do 50? Can I do 100? Is that even possible? Can I do 1,000,000? Right? Like your brain just starts going out there, especially when you start dreaming. But I think, like you said, you need to make those sacrifices. You need to make those sacrifices early. And fortunately, you need to make it for a long period of time. And then eventually when you have a business set up, and then when you have people and systems and operations and scale, you can then start taking time and celebrating and doing the vacations. And still though, it's, even though the focus is not off, the main goal, you can still enjoy your life a little bit. And that's where the benefit of entrepreneurship comes. And it's not just the grinding for 10 years and being, living in a shoebox, and saving all your money. No, it's hopefully to build a business so big that you can live the life of your dream and give your family, the life that you didn't have maybe growing up, right? Or your kids or whatever it is, organizations or churches, whatever you want to do. And that's what you can get to at that point, but it takes sacrifices to get there.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely. And when you say sacrifices, we talk about partying and this and that. Like, I mean, like real sacrifices. There was times where it was like a family member's birthday, or a cousin's baby shower, or something that most people would say, no way, you can't miss that. That's family.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's like, if I go to this event, then you're getting peer pressure to drink, and if you don't drink, then you're absorbing bad energy, and it's just, I would stay home working, and I would stay home producing, because I knew that I was on that rocket and absolutely nothing was going to stop me. So most people will see that as extreme, but it's necessary in order to have success. The second thing outside of sacrifices is just surround yourself with people that are having way more success than you. Because if not, I remember I got to around 10K a month, and all my buddies, right, the ones that I'd go party with, and which I'm still friends with a lot of them, they're incredible people. Not everybody wants to make massive money, and that's okay. But I was like the big dog, right? I was making 10K, they're making 3-4K, so now I'm like flexing, I'm inviting the dinners, I'm the quote unquote rich guy. And it wasn't until I met my business partner, Chris Thunder on Instagram, to where I go over his house, hot off my first 15K month. The guy makes $15,000 the first day I'm there.
Wow.
He makes, $300,000 a month. And now I'm like, it is so obscenely different. It's so much more than what I'm doing, that now it expands my mind. And now I'm like, wow, if he can do $300,000 a month, why can't I do 30 or 50 or 100? Right? So now I'm doing 100. If he's still at 300, I still have room to grow. But if you're surrounding yourself with entrepreneurs or individuals in your life who are making a lot less than you, and that's all you surround yourself with, you're not paying to be in inner circles, you're not listening to these podcasts to get motivation, you're seeing entrepreneurs on social media post they bought a brand new jet or a yacht, and you're like, oh, what a show off, and you take that as like, them showing off, and you don't like it. You're not getting the motivation that you need to. You gotta be motivated by that. You gotta surround yourself with people that are making 10 times more than you, not just 2, 3, 4, like 10 times more than you, so that then you can strive to reach that level.
Yeah, and it's perspective, because like if you're surrounded and you're the big dog in your little network, you gotta get some new friends, like 100%. You know what I mean? And that's why I started expanding. My network was getting so small where I was starting to get to I was the guy making all the money. I'm like, dude, I need to do something quick, and I was getting kind of like even anxious about it, being like, yeah, I need to get around other people that are doing such bigger things than me, that everything I'm doing is small. And that way, everybody around me, I'm going to create that impact of just pushing the boundaries of what we think is acceptable and actually scaling the company. So, yeah, man. And that is so true, though. You need to have perspective of people doing bigger things than you. It naturally draws you in. So, and that's probably why you got to the point where you're at now. You started being around these people that were just doing way bigger things from you when you thought you were doing probably a big thing. You're like, well, I'm pretty legit. then you meet the guy that's really legit. And you're like, okay, it's time to get to work, right? And then it motivates you even more.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's I would say is the exact reason of the way that I am and the success that I have. And even now, like a couple years ago, maybe like a year ago, I reached another comfort zone. You constantly reach little, plateaus. And what did I do? I started surrounding myself with people that were making $100 million a month. I'm like, wow, I can, reach half of that. I can reach, all of it. So just constantly expanding your mind and allowing your mind to grow.
Yeah, no, I love that, man. And so let's say when your business started taking off, is that when you guys started WifiMoney, or how did that come to fruition?
Yeah, so it's, by the way, this is the logo.
I love that.
It's
so
my business
sick.
partner, Chris Frederick, and we're 50-50 partners. We also have a few other partners that are part of the brand, and obviously the 50,000 plus affiliates. But it had gotten to a point where, I don't want to say it was a hustle what I was doing with Instagram, but it didn't really have a brand behind it. It didn't really have a structure behind it, and so many people wanted to be a part that with Chris Frederick, I remember it was like 2 a.m. I'm up thinking like, I got to create a brand behind this, like something we can potentially sell in the future. And for some reason, WifiMoney kept popping in my head. I just thought it was so cool that we could teach people how to make money literally using this device, because that was my story back 2 years ago. If people go on my Instagram, I traveled 8-9 months out of the year. Wow. And I did that on purpose to show people that travel the world and connect to Wi-Fi and still make money. So it went perfect with the brand. I bought the domain, and WifiMoney was officially born. And the way that we kicked it off is, and actually this was right the month that the pandemic hit. So imagine it's the pandemic, every business is closing, people are going full panic mode, and 2 20-something-year-olds are launching a business in literally the beginning of a pandemic, worldwide pandemic. And we did what was called the $1 Million Challenge. We made a post and we said, hey, we're locked at home. Literally, it was in that period of, at least in Florida, it was like 3-4 months. You couldn't even go to the grocery store. You're locked at home. And I said, I'm going to show the world what we're capable of doing and how fast we can make $1 million net profit, and see how fast we do it. I had no idea how long it would take us. Sure enough, bro, we worked our asses off nonstop, building relationships. We started teaching businesses that were struggling because they had to shut down their retail. We were teaching them how they can take their income into the online space, WifiMoney. And we ended up making $1 million profit. I believe it was something like 37 days or 42 days. Wow. We made $1 million profit and literally the pandemic. And that's what put my WifiMoney on the map, because people said, wow, if these guys are stuck at home, they literally can't move and meet people in person or do anything, all through Zoom, all through Instagram, they can make $1 million. What can I do to join them? And that's what really blew up WifiMoney.
Yeah, and it's just like you said, it was all that groundwork, right? And then opportunity, unfortunately, came through a pandemic, right? But the timing of it, and then the timing of you guys starting that, and then doing it, and then obviously your business blew up. So it was that perfect synergy.
You have to take advantage of moments like that. Like, there was nothing we could do that there was a worldwide pandemic. We were locked at home, nothing. Mm-hmm. Instead of feeling sorry and sad and, oh, this is horrible, and why the government this, the government that, and just entering this negative state like 99% of the world, we said, how can we take, advantage and teach people and help people during this horrible time, and help ourselves grow and continue to grow. And it literally became a massive blessing for us. It's sad, obviously what happened in the world, but then again, people needed to take advantage and find a way to change their business model and get it to the online space.
Yeah, no, that's so true, man. And so what exactly does WifiMoney do for its affiliates, as for its customers? What exactly does WifiMoney do?
Yeah, well, we still do a lot of what we started, which is branding, right? Mm-hmm. We teach how to brand themselves. We teach them how to grow their social media presence, how to leverage that to build relationships. We've worked with the majority, like, if there's an entrepreneur out there with a couple million followers, big chance that we worked with them and we grew their account and we taught them. But, recently we decided to launch an incredible opportunity. It's completely free. Anybody can join, right? Because, we saw that for so many years, there was always a price point to work with us, which that's business, right? So we decided to find a free opportunity. And that's what really supercharged our growth. Now, like I mentioned, over 60,000 people. But basically, we find experts in an industry and we partner with them. I'm a big believer that if somebody's been doing, let's say, real estate for 10 years, I'm not going to be able to do better than them in a short period of time. There's time you have to put into, there's experience. So why not just partner with that person, join forces, and grow the business? So that's what we're doing. We have something amazing coming up in the real estate space. We've got something we're doing with government grants, which you're a part of, that we're genuinely helping people. We're still doing some branding, but it all surrounds teaching people how to make money online, taking their offline income into the online space.
Yeah, so essentially you guys are working with brands, individuals, companies. You just created this massive affiliate network of 60,000 affiliates for the ERC program, which has obviously just been a massive, massive success for you guys. But not just for you guys, but for the people the affiliates that you've actually helped and the actual businesses. Can you touch on that a little bit? Because I know a little bit about what you do, obviously, on the ERC side, but I don't know maybe some of the numbers you can share. But I know they're pretty massive, so I'm sure these guys like to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, the ERC program was a blessing, right, from the government to business owners that struggled during the pandemic, right? It really was a program geared to a business that did the right thing during the pandemic. They remained open, they paid their employees, right? And now they're getting a portion of that money back because the government is giving that aid, that grant, right? It's not a loan. They don't have to pay it back. There's, nothing like that. It's essentially money that they're getting paid back for doing the right thing. And we joined forces with one of the best firms in the nation. They've been doing government grants for 15 years. For us, that was really important because with something sensitive like this, you want to work with the best of the best. We did a lot of due diligence. There was many companies claiming to do this. They're, in my opinion, all pop-ups. Mm-hmm. And we found the best company. And, we've genuinely been helping business owners, claim this money. We've helped business owners reinvest in themselves. I mean, that's even the slogan of what we do, helping American businesses reinvest in themselves. And it's been a blessing of a program for, affiliates. It's something that's completely free. We don't charge some sort of a fee to work with us. It's, hey, individual, if you know a business owner in America and you want to help them, join us and you could potentially make money as well. Right? So it's a win for the affiliate. It's a win for the company. It's a win for the business. We're helping these people. And in my opinion, it has been the biggest opportunity for affiliates, for business-minded people that I've ever seen. Right? Yeah. We've helped over 60,000 businesses. We filed for billions of dollars. Right? So it's been a very lucrative business for us. But the most important part that I love is that we're helping tens of thousands of people, businesses that were about to shut down, businesses that didn't know they were going to still be open, if they have to cut employees, if they can make reinvestments to fix up their restaurant, to fix up their location. Now they're receiving this money that belongs to them, and now they're able to stay afloat. And that's the most important thing about this program.
Yeah, and I think with that and just seeing all the stuff you're doing on the ERC side, I mean, I'm in business lending, so I know how much impact a loan or money or equipment or credit lines does to these businesses. It doesn't just affect the business, it affects the community, affects the people they can hire, it affects, the surrounding environment that they're in, their families. It's a massive impact, right? And not only were you helping the businesses, but you're helping the affiliates by, hey, if you refer this business, they get a little commission off that, right? And it's a win-win for everybody. So, and it's funny when, when you go into something, you're like, wow, there's a great opportunity. But then sometimes you don't even realize the impact you're going to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I bet you thought like this could be a huge, huge thing, but I don't think you realized probably at that time that it could be billions of dollars and millions of dollars that you've helped your affiliates make too. So I think that impact plus the money that you guys have been able to generate for your company where you can then get to reinvest into everything you're doing. It's just, that's what happens. You help a bunch of people, you help a bunch of businesses, and your company blows up, right? Everything's so aligned with impact and helping. You aligned all those things together and you do it on this scale, which is massive, right? With your following, with your company, with your reach. And then it's just lightning in a bottle and it just blows up. So it was amazing watching what you were doing. And that's what drew me into you guys as well, was just the massive impact. And I didn't really want to work with anybody else just because I knew like, hey, if this guy's doing this on this level and the company that he's aligned with, this is something I want to be a part of. So, I mean, you hit the nail on the head with that.
It's so incredible getting messages from individuals saying, hey, Alex, thank you. That, phone call, the 5-minute phone call I had with you now helped my business get $200,000, $500,000, a business that we helped $7 million.
Wow.
Like, we're talking life-changing, business-altering, money that now they can utilize to make their business better. And like you said, sometimes you don't even realize how far the impact goes. Like, I see some of the reports that we get of, the 60,000 affiliates and how many of them are making money and how they can help their families now. And that positive impact is going to potentially go generations deep, right? Or a business owner that gets this money that now can keep their employees and pay those employees and the families that are helped there, right? And you start to see so many levels of helping people and doing good. And that's really how you blow up a business. I'll be honest, when I first started the business, it was just about how can I make money? How can I make money? How can I make money? And that's okay. If you're at that early stage, it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to be money hungry. But I've learned something extremely quick, bro. And it's that money does not buy you happiness. I know it's very cheesy. There's a lot of conflict over that phrase, but a great business partner, business mentor that I have, individual, sold a company for multiple 9 figures. I asked him, I'm like, man, I've been having so many problems with my family, with this, with that. Like, before I started making any real money, I'm like, do you have problems? Like, you've got hundreds of millions of dollars. How can you have problems? Like, does it fix your problems? He goes, Alex, money doesn't fix your problems. It actually just makes your problems more sophisticated. And it really made me think. And now that I'm here, I see what he means. Now it's more dealing with high level, problems.
Yeah.
Like dealing with attorneys, dealing with estate attorneys that, do your entire state taxes and your structure, and the problems become more sophisticated. So if you think that making 10K or 50K or 100K or $1 million a month is going to solve all your problems, well, I'm here to tell you, you're 1,000% wrong. Yeah. There's been days where I have so much stress now with business to where I'm remembering the days when I was making $5-7 grand a month and how incredibly happy I was and energized I was. And by no means am I saying I'm not happy now, but sometimes you miss those days. So stop worrying so much about, I'm going to reach here, I need to get here, I'll be happy when I'm here, and actually just enjoy the entire journey. And that's what I've done. I've enjoyed every minute of it, from, setting the goal and buying my Lambo within a year of becoming an entrepreneur. I spent 95% of my income that I had made on a Lamborghini, craziest shit I've ever done, to buying a private jet, to now traveling with my family and helping my family and having fun. Like, the entire journey has been so incredible, and I've had fun every step of the way, and I'm going to continue to do so. But for anyone listening, watching, don't get so caught up on, if I don't hit this, I'm not going to be happy. And then when you get here, you realize you want this. And it's human nature. You always want more. You always want more. Just be genuinely happy with where you're at. Take the decision to actually go all in and have fun, the entire way up.
Yeah, and it's funny because I've been talking a lot about that on Instagram lately, and that's something I've been going through the last couple of years. Is you're always tied to some big goal, right? This big number that you think you're going to get to, and it's going to change something in your life, and then you get it, and it doesn't change anything. Even the cars, and I don't have a jet yet, but I'm assuming it's very enjoyable. But just like anything, it turns into something else. But what I learned was, you enjoy the process of building and creating value and impact. And if you do that, and you fall in love with that, your goals, you're going to hit them no matter what. And I know I'm going to hit my goals. I don't know how long it's going to take me, right? I don't know. I don't have a time frame on it. And that's why I love business. There's no time frame. But I fell in love with the process and the journey of creating a brand and a business and impacting my employees and my customers, right? If I fell in love with that, and that on those hard days where I'm getting beat up and I'm like, what the heck am I doing this for? I'm not at my goals yet. And I remember all the people that I'm impacting. I'm remembering I love the creating part. I love the branding part for me, right? I fell in love with that. So if I can remember that on the hard days, then that's helped me get over a lot of my humps of being, hey, like I know I'm not there yet, but let me enjoy this process, right? And then you're actually thankful for where you're at, and you just switch your mindset of being, more grateful for your situation versus just tying to something all the time, right? Because after a certain point, you start hitting these goals, and it just nothing seems like it's enough, right? The new car, the new house, it just,
Bro, I don't even, it's sad to say it, I don't even use my Lambo anymore. I was telling my buddy this yesterday. We drove it yesterday. It was the first time in like a month and a half, which, by the way, I had to take it to the shop because I didn't use it. It died.
Yeah.
And all big boy issues start to happen, and thousands of dollars start to fly everywhere because you got to keep up with the maintenance of these, big boy toys. And it just, it's incredible. I'm not saying don't have that goal or you're not going to enjoy it, but just realize that it's just material. Like, you got to have the material goals. But to me, like you said, what really motivates me now is, for example, I just, flew my entire family over to Mexico on my private jet to probably the sickest hotel with my 2 golden retrievers on my jet that I just, got puppies. And, we just had the time of our lives over there. And then, I got a helicopter to land on top of the mall, which nobody had ever done. We took them all shopping. Like, those types of experiences, and seeing their faces and seeing their reaction, and them still thank me, like, Alex, at that moment, like my grandma was like, Alex, this is a moment that's going to be in my mind forever.
Yeah.
Like, that's the type of stuff that really fires you up. Like, the material stuff is cool. It's fun at first. But like you said, if you don't find that purpose of why you're doing it, and it's for your family, it's for your friends, it's for your mom, it's for your sister, whoever, then you're just going to burn out and just realize that, I was happier when I didn't have money, right?
Yeah.
You've got to find purpose in what you want to do with that money.
No, that's so true. And I think you doing that to your family, I mean, that's like movie stuff. Probably, you know what I mean? That they can't even fathom that. And to show them that it's possible, but more importantly, you get to share that all your hard work with your family and be able to give them the life and the support that they, have probably always wanted, right? And, and just the financial part of that is great, but doing all the other stuff is it's awesome. You're giving them experiences of a lifetime, which most people, 99% of the people on earth, don't get to experience. So, and you got to provide that to your family.
Experiences are everything, bro. All the money I've invested, because I call it an investment, has gone towards travel, has gone towards experiences, things that you'll remember for the rest of your life, right? A lot of people will go buy things and material things and store them. And then again, they're just liabilities. They end up breaking down. They end up giving you issues. But I'll always remember those moments with my family. I'll always remember those moments of taking care of someone that I love, or gifting someone something that I know they really want. Like, those are the moments that really matter.
No, I love that, man. And everything you're doing is just massive impact now, right? And you're just going to be able to, reap the benefits for years and years to come of the foundation, the groundwork you've laid for anybody that comes in contact with you. So it's inspiring, man. But I know your time's valuable, so I'll probably cut it a little bit short. But what's next for WifiMoney? Like, in the next couple of years, what's the plans moving forward? I know you mentioned some real estate stuff. If you can maybe just touch on that briefly.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to continue to do what we've always done, right? Our goal is to build a base of over 100,000. You can call them partners, affiliates that belong and work with WifiMoney, and give them different opportunities to continue making money, right? I don't think everyone always says you hit a number, you retire. Like, yes, mentally and you financially you're retired, but I want to continue to help people. I want to continue to give them opportunities to make income with us and dedicate time and do more masterminds, do more in-person events to continue spreading that impact. We've got this incredible real estate business. I can't say much. Like within a month, you guys will see on my Instagram, it's probably the craziest thing I've ever done. So definitely go on my Instagram and see what I'm going to do. That's going to launch a whole real estate platform and business as well. And who knows, man? Who knows what comes after ERC's done? I'm sure there's going to be new programs, but now I've got it more clear than ever that whatever we do, it's got to genuinely help people. It's got to inspire people, have that impact, and hopefully help over 100,000 people make life-changing money with us.
That's awesome, man. I love that, and I can't wait to follow whatever you're going to do next. You know what I mean? So how can people follow you? Obviously, you got Instagram, YouTube, your handles. Where should people find you if they want to link up at your affiliate network, all that good stuff?
Yeah, I mean, just Instagram's a place to be. I mean, believe it or not, I still spend several hours, probably more than 8 hours a day on Instagram. I talk to just about everyone. So if anybody goes on my Instagram, if you search WifiMoney, it'll come up. It's the verified one. It's A. Moeller. It's my name, my first initial and last name. But if you search WifiMoney, I'll pop up. It's the account with 2 million followers and crazy travel pictures. Shoot me a DM. More than likely will respond to you as soon as possible. On YouTube, I show all my travel stuff, right? So I've traveled to 95 countries and been to probably some of the craziest resorts experiences that you can think of. WifiMoney on YouTube. Those two, man, I don't even use TikTok. I'm way too busy with Instagram and YouTube to do anything else. So those two platforms, shoot me a DM. I'd love to connect with anyone.
Awesome. Yeah. And guys, you guys got to follow this guy on Instagram and his YouTube channel. I know we didn't touch on it much, but I was just on it last night, just doing some research, and I've been obviously subscribed for a while. This guy doesn't go to hotels and stays at the best room. He stays at the villas, the biggest villas, the best hotels. It is the most wildest experience I've seen actually watching your channel. So you guys got to check out his YouTube channel, subscribe, click that bell, right? You guys got to see what he's dropping. Follow him on Instagram. But again, Alex, thank you so much for joining the Lead God podcast. And I appreciate you taking your time, inspiring others and showing them that it's possible, that there's more out there in life and you can create massive impact, but you got to put your first foot forward. So again, thank you so much for coming on, and I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, man. And let's crush it, bro.
Awesome. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.